Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Juan the Yarn Addict and I'd like to welcome you to another one of my variety shows. So if you're new to the variety show concept here on my channel, what I do is I take different concepts of things I showcase and I bring them into one video for you to watch and enjoy. In no particular order, for today's show, I have a WIPn It with Juan, I have a yarn rescue, which I will get into the details behind that in just a moment, and then I have 2 boxes of yarn to share with you sent to me by friends of the channel. I may get into other things, but only if time permits. So if any of that is of interest to you, please sit back and enjoy the video. Before we get started, please remember to hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already, and then of course share the video. I would definitely appreciate the support. So let's jump right into this. For today, I have the Sin City mug for coffee. There is no coffee talk. This is not a podcast. But I do have my coffee, so we are all set and ready to go. I'm going to jump right into this yarn rescue. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about this. Here is the blanket. I'm just going to show you the blanket right off the top. So it's all variegated yarn. And then for the border, we have 1 round of double crochet and then 2 rounds of shells. And this is kind of what it looks like. I know it's kind of dark. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick up all the stitches, but that's the blanket. So a little backstory behind this. I recently took a trip to Wisconsin and I stopped at Hirschner's. I was all there for their warehouse sale. I was super excited, did all the things. But in my travels, I stopped at a local Goodwill and I wanted to challenge myself with rescuing a blanket. I don't know why I decided to do it while I was in Wisconsin, but the mood was there and I decided to jump right in and I did the things. So I purchased this blanket. I thought this was the perfect rescue because looking at it, you probably can't tell right away, but this is a filet work blanket and you can't really tell because of how busy the yarn is. I really feel like the design of the blanket is not appropriate for the yarn that was used. And so if I bring this in a lot closer, you'll see all of the windows and things. Or maybe not, I'm not exactly sure, but it is a very, very busy yarn. So the yarn here is a discontinued vintage variegated yarn, which drew me right in right away. It features what appears to be 2 shades of green. I'll get close with it. 2 shades of green. You have a lighter green and a dark green. And just by the looks of it, it looks like a patty green with a hunter green. And then we have a royal blue and what appears to be lavender. And then of course we have white. And for the border, it is a different color altogether. It looks like Red Heart Super Saver in violet. And based on the size of the stitch, I would almost go as far as to say that this was crocheted with either a 5mm crochet hook or a 5.5mm crochet hook. So a G or an H or an I. G, H, or I. Yeah. Anyway, the stitch work is great. The yarn is too busy for the design of this blanket. Because when I look at it, I want to be able to see the actual design of the blanket if there is one. If there is no design to the blanket, if it was all a solid stitch every single row and the star of the blanket was the actual yarn itself, then that's a whole different story. But upon closer inspection, we have filet work here, which if you're not familiar with what filet work is, it's a series of windows that creates a pattern. So before I pressed the play button today, I went and found the closing knot and there's that. So I pulled out the stanwood. I have that. So instead of balling it up into a ball, I figured let's just cake it up as we go. So I have not prepared that, but I wanted to show you guys the rescue. Now the goal here is to obviously frog this entire blanket, cake everything up, and then the plan as of right now is to incorporate matching colors in a different design altogether. So I don't think fillet work is appropriate for the busyness of this yarn. However, if I use solid colors in conjunction with this variegated yarn, we may actually be able to do something of substance. So stay tuned for that. I do know right off the bat, I want to include a navy blue or a royal blue. This dark blue, I want to showcase that in a solid. I also want to bring in some hunter green, maybe some patty green. I do not want to bring any violet into this. I want that violet to stand on its own without any support, because I think it's fine on its own. That may be too much. I'm going to brainstorm some more details behind that. I may only bring maybe one or two. Anything more than that I think is too much. So maybe a royal blue and a hunter green, and that's it. And then I will leave the lighter green and the lavender stand on its own with the white. So stay tuned for that. We're going to jump back into this in just a moment. I'm going to sit this off to the side, have a sip of coffee, because why not? We have the Sin City mug. Love this. And I think what I want to do is jump into one of the two boxes that I got from friends of the channel. So the first box I want to get into is from Lanny and Mark. And so they sent me a note. They told me that I didn't have to show it on the channel, but it's vintage yarn, and I love sharing all the vintage things with you guys. I love talking about it. I love touching it and all the things. So let's do that. So right off the bat here, they both sent me this bag of vintage variegated yarn. This screams 1970. I love it. And I automatically want to incorporate some white with this and maybe some espresso brown, and then leave whatever colors are in the yarn stand on its own. I'm going to take one out and show you guys. It's taped really, really well. So I'm just going to cut a little hole across the top here and pull one of these out. So this is what it looks like. I really, really like this clay or caramel color. It's really, really nice. So again, I'm thinking about just bringing white with this espresso brown to this yarn and just let the yarn do its thing. This is really, really nice. And so in this bag here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 skeins, and it looks like it's a 3-ounce skein or a 3.5. Anyway, I'm going to put this back in here and shelve it until I have time to start another whip. I'm trying to show some restraint here because normally I would already have this on the hook. I'd have it on the hook with, 2 other ideas. Anyway, I digress. The next thing we have here is this wonderful bag of goodies. So to some, you would look at this and be like, that's a bag of scraps. For me, oh no. This is a big old bag of goodies. I love looking at bags like this. Okay, let's dig in. I love it. Okay, so the first thing I'm looking at is Jewel Box yarn. This is a new to me yarn. It says Jewel Box. And it's a Karen yarn. Let's see, it's a medium 4-weight yarn. They suggest a 6mm crochet hook. It's hand wash, lay flat to dry. There's only 90 yards in this skein, 2.5 ounces, 70.9 grams. And it does give instructions on how to pull the yarn out. However, I feel like it's already been worked. It's been stuffed in the label here, which is fine. I don't mind that at all. So the makeup of this is 64% acrylic, 20% rayon, and 16% polyester. So it feels great. The thing that I noticed right off the bat is there's this lace weight yarn wrapped up with the velvet. It's lace weight yarn, which I think is that nylon or rayon. I'm sorry. It's that rayon. And then, yeah, the acrylic and polyester blend is what this yarn here is. So I find that very, very interesting. I've never worked with this yarn before, so I'm going to definitely put this on the hook and play with it and tell you guys all about it. And if this hook does not work, I do have a backup. I would probably more than likely use my dots hook for this, a 6mm dots, if my prim hook does not work. So stay tuned. Next in the bag of goodies. Okay, so to some, they'd be like, what is even this? To me, this is gold. This is golden. I love this. So I'm just going to slide the label right on off. And let's look at the label. It's Red Heart Super Saver. It's got the gold band around the heart, which means it is vintage. The colorway here is called Shaded Dusk. I do have a few cakes of this, full huge cakes of this in the squirrel's nest. So I'm going to add this to that because all yarn is good yarn. It's all the shades of blue, ranging from light blue to navy blue. Super, super nice. And I really enjoy how the color just ombres instead of that hard cut. If you just look there, you can kind of see how there is no cut between the two colors. It just fades, which I think is absolutely phenomenal. All right, so I'll set that there. Next, we have Natura yarn. This is 100% acrylic yarn. It's a 4-ply worsted weight, 3 ounces, 85 grams, machine washable and dryable, made in the US of A. It's white, but I will show you the label here. Very, very nice. I know some of you guys have asked to actually look at the labels as I show the yarn. So now that I'm looking at this, there is a UPC code, which doesn't really age this yarn as far back as I thought it would be, because we do have yarns without the UPC codes. I believe these were in existence after 1976. I'm not sure. I can't remember the exact year, but there is a definite cutoff between like a before and after with the UPC code. So there's that. Next we have, okay, there's a label that Lanny or Mark wrote on this. It says keep or share. I don't know what this is, but it's soft and pretty. I love it. I don't know what it is, but it's soft and pretty. This is really, really nice. I don't know what it is either, but it is soft. It is pretty. It is roving style yarn. It's rolled, as you can see here. I don't even know what I would make with this, but based on how this feels, it feels like a wool / acrylic blend. And it's giving me peacock colors. So it's got that teal, the blues. You have bits and bobs of the purples in there. That's super, super nice. Okay, let's move on. Red Heart Super Saver Americana. I don't even need the label. I know exactly what this is because I have right above this orange, in the cubby above this, I have a handful of these. Yes, I have a handful of these. Actually, I'm going to tilt the camera and show you. Right up there, right there. Anyway, it's always good to have a few extras. And yeah, so with this yarn here, I mean, it doesn't ombre, it does cut in between. You can kind of see it with this right here. So it's still good yarn. They do suggest a 5.5mm crochet hook. It's a medium 4-weight yarn, machine washable and dryable. This is 3.5 ounces. I can't remember off the top of my head the yardage, but yeah, there it is. Love this yarn. I made a hat last year. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember much lately. I did make a hat with this yarn last year. I need to put something else on the hook with this yarn because it's really, really nice yarn. Okay. Moving on. This is really nice yarn. I don't know what this is because this is not Red Heart Super Saver. I'm just going to show you the yarn. Very, very nice. With the mystery yarns like this, the One Skein Wonders, automatically I think beanie. Because I don't have a label, I can't really speak to what it is. It looks like an older yarn, but it looks like it's enough for a beanie, so that's probably what I would do with it. Same thing with this one right here. This is gorgeous. This would be another beanie, or something that I could make like, you know, a One Skein Wonder type situation, which there's tons and tons of projects out there that you can create with one skein. It doesn't always necessarily have to be a beanie. It could be like a little pocket case. It could be a little hook holder. Tons of projects you can make. Anyway, let's move on. Next, we have Red Heart Super Saver Mexicana. They still make this. It's not discontinued, but this particular skein is pretty old because we have the golden band around the heart, and it feels very soft and very squish. So I gotta tell you, I don't know if any of you guys watching me have recently purchased Mexicana yarn from like Walmart, but I will tell you that if you go there and you pick up their skeins of Mexicana yarn, you will find that the yarn is not a plump 4-weight yarn. It's a 4-weight yarn, but not on the plump side like this is. The vintage skeins of Mexicana yarn were full, plump. I mean, every skein that I have in my stash that is an older skein of Mexicana yarn is a very full and plump 4-weight yarn. The newer yarns nowadays, I mean, I can go there right now and pick it up off the shelf and compare it, and it's very different. There's a stark contrast between thicknesses. They're both 4 weights, but you can clearly see a difference. So I'll give you a close-up of that. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn here. I love this yarn. Okay, moving on. We have red yarn. It's a mystery yarn. It's roving. It feels like a blend of wool and acrylic. I could totally be wrong here. It could be 100% acrylic. I don't know. There is no label here. There really isn't a crunch to it, but based on feel, it does feel a little on the dry side like some of the wool blends are. I'm loving that red. Very, very nice. Okay. Next, we have Premier Just Chenille. You can pick this up at the $1.25 tree. This is great Christmas yarn. You have Frosty there on the sticker. Super, super nice. Next, we have some Sears Sayel. This is vintage. There's no UPC code. Wow. Incredible. It feels so soft, so squish. There's no colorway name on the band. We're just going to go with beige. I'm making sure to not touch the label. I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's all in good fun. Next, we have Love Knit. I do have these very skeins in stash, so I'm going to add this to that. Love Knit, a nice full 4-weight yarn, very soft, very squish, very vintage. And I mean, there is tape around this ball band. However, there is a recipe behind these ball bands. And that is something else that I miss. Yarns nowadays have their recipes all online, whereas back in the day, it was literally behind the ball band. And that's one of the things that I look for when I use my vintage yarns from Stash. I try to save every single ball band that has a recipe behind it because that's vintage, you know? I love that. Next we have Klansman Sport Yarn. This is 100% Orlon acrylic fiber, and it's 2 3/4 ounces, 2-ply, machine washable and dryable. I absolutely love the color here. There isn't much of it, but it's on the thin side. I would probably make something for the table here, because again, there really isn't much here. But the color, it's stunning. Next, we have Honey Spun in royal blue. I do have a handful of these skeins in Stash, and I'm going to put this with that for a project because look at how beautiful that blue is. Stunning. I love it. Soft squish. This is 67% Orlon, 33% Dacron. Wow. So good. Honey Spun. All right, next, one of my favorites out of the bag, we have Shaded Reds. Red Heart Classic. Is this classic? No, it's Red Heart. It is classic. It is vintage. Coates and Clark. We have the golden band, all the things. So this is a 3-ounce skein. I do have a few of these. I don't have many of these, but with what I have, I'm just going to sit it to the side until I do have enough to make something substantial with this yarn, because this is beautiful, beautiful yarn here. Shaded Reds. Gorgeous. Last but certainly not least, we have Red Heart Super Saver Camo. Now in my stash, believe it or not, I have one other skein just like this. I have no idea why I still have it, why I have not gifted it or given it away. It's beyond me, but I do have one of these in Stash that I'm going to pair together and maybe put it together for a giveaway. Red Heart Super Saver Camo. It's a medium 4-weight yarn. The hook suggestion is a 5.5. It's 5 ounces, 141 grams. Very, very nice. I mean, I do have an aversion to pink. You guys all know that. However, I think that this would be better in someone else's hands who absolutely loves the pinks. So stay tuned for a potential giveaway for this yarn. Okay, so let's just get this all in here. In the box, there are recipe books. I believe there's only 2, so I'm just going to show them very quickly. The first book that Lanny and Mark sent my way is the 3D Animal Granny Squares. I'm very excited about this because this is a new to me situation. Now, I've seen many, many squares come through from Boggy Creek with animals on them, but I've never had a recipe book showing me the way. So I'm very excited to get my hands into this book because I just love squares. We have flamingos, you name it, it's in here. So I'm very excited about this. There's even a chicken one, there's a lion one. What? Look at the lion one. It's so, so good. I love it. So yeah, thank you so much, Laney and Mark. And last but not least in this box, we have Around the World in Knitted Socks. So socks from different countries. I did peruse through this book beforehand. So we have Hub of Fashion from Italy, for example. I'll show you like 1 or 2 more. We have Scent of Lavender from France. And this is where it's telling me, Scent of Lavender from France. And I'll show you one more. I know I'm going too fast. Let me just show you that one more time. Okay. Let me show you one more. We have By the Fords in Norway. Look at that, the detail behind that. So super nice. It does give recipes and all the things in between, but the thing that I like about this book the most is it gives you a little bit of backstory behind each one. Now, it's not extensive by any stretch of the imagination, but it gives you kind of an idea behind all the thought that went into the work. So I'm going to continue reading this. Thank you once again, Lanny and Mark, for the treats. Absolutely love it. Okay, so sip of coffee. We have another box here from Donna, which I don't know. Let me see. We're 25 minutes in. Why not? Let's do it. Okay. So I have this box here. I'm just going to pull straight out of the box here. I'm going to start with the recipes that she sent. Based on time, I may or may not be able to show all of it, but I'm going to show you as best as I can. So this first one here is Annie's Hook and Needle Kit Club. This is Beanie Blast. Love that. Super, super nice. We have recipes and all the things in between. Very, very nice. We have a Susan Bates book, Learn Crochet. So this has literally like a how-to and different projects. This is great for a beginner, but what I'm most interested in with this book are the projects in the back. Now, this book here was printed, I think I saw it, 1987. So it is vintage. Sometimes it's really hard to swallow that whole idea. It's vintage from the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s. I mean, I just have to accept that. Times are changing. Next, we have Mary Maxim exclusive needlecraft kits. This screams 80s. You can tell just by the hairdos. And then look at the back. Now, I don't know the exact year. I'm going to look right now. I'm guessing 80s. Let me see here. It doesn't have a year. You would think that it would have a year. No year. Yeah, I'm so surprised. Nope. Let me see. Yeah, no year. Copyright by Mary Maxim. Nope. We do know it's vintage just by looking at it. Next, we have Annie's Attic Special Stitches Crochet Afghans. I'm very excited about this. This here is what we call Tunisian crochet. Nowadays, back then, it was the Afghan stitch. So Special Stitches Afghans. And it shows the pictures on the outside. And on the inside, it's literally just the recipes of all the images that you see on the outside. It's literally a book filled with the recipes. So, just to briefly show you what the inside has in terms of like the recipes, here they are. Very, very nice. I'm particularly interested in the one on the front. That one right there. I don't know if I'll ever make it, but this is called Afghan Stitch with Flowers. So, very nice. Thank you, Donna, for the recipes. Let's get into the yarn. I'm going to go quickly here. So we have Patton's Croy Socks. Very nice. We have Clover Colors is the colorway, Clover Colors. Next we have Tapestry 8-ply. I love the jewel tones in that. Very, very nice. This is Australian yarn from Brunswick, Victoria, Australia. 100% wool, approximately 96 meters, 110 yards. Very nice. Next, we have some Caldor Sail yarn, and this here is in light blue. Okay. Next, we have some Tahiti yarn, 35% merino blended yarn, hand wash, lay flat to dry. Let me see here. I'll show you that. I was looking for a colorway. I don't see a colorway name, but that's okay. Next, we have Lion Brand Sail yarn. Look at that beautiful colorway there, turquoise from Lion Brand. It's a full 4-weight yarn, very soft and very squish. Love that. I do have other skeins. Well, I have skeins with the same label but different colors. I wonder if I pair them together. I'm gonna have to look at the colors and see what happens. We may have something there. Next, we have Mint. Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Mint. A 3-ounce skein, not bad. Love that. Bring the box a little closer so I can reach. We have Red Heart Super Saver Classic in white. Well, actually it says off-white. All right. Next we have Mainstays Crafts yarn. This is an old label. Love that. Mainstays yarn has always been good yarn, even back in the day. Very good yarn. If you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it. So we have Norwegian yarn, 100% wool. Oh, this is going to be fun. Look at that beautiful color. Wow. Vintage, of course. This is called Triplex Camgarn. Very nice. Next, we have Super Value DuPont Acrylic in lavender. Very, very nice. It's not as full as some of these other vintage yarns, but it definitely feels very, very soft, which is nice. Next, we have some Milk Cotton. Very nice. We have some Leeward's Orlan Sail. Now this is some vintage yarn. This is in white. Look at that label. Leeward's Orlan Sail. It works like a dream. If you've crocheted with that yarn, it's great. Next, we have some Cotton Chenille Melrose. This screams 1960. It says dry cleaning recommended. It's called, the colorway is Wood Brown. Wow, look at that. All right, let's move on to the next one. This is Sayel Sport Yarn. I don't see a colorway name. This is machine washable and dryable. It's giving hunter green vibes. Very nice. Next, we have Miracle Match Knitting Worsted Weight Yarn from Sears. The colorway is Scarlet. I don't think I own any of this. There's no dye lot. Absolutely beautiful yarn there. Next, we have Windtuck yarn in the colorway Navy Blue. Beautiful. Look at that recipe. It's so nice. Again, with the recipes and these vintage yarns, if you can get your hands on vintage yarns, look at the ball bands. That's where the real treat is. I mean, obviously the yarn is the treat, but like, it's so good to get your hands on those recipes from yesteryear. So next we have Red Heart Team Spirit. This is a vintage yarn. It's not an older yarn, but there was a phase where they were doing like Team Spirit yarns. You have the American flag there, which means this was made in the US and not Turkey. And red and blue is the colorway here. Very nice. All right. We have another Miracle Match yarn. This here is in brown. So we have red and brown, very nice. I'm actually going to go through my stash and see if I can't find something, some other ones like this. I may or may not have it, I'm not sure. We'll check into it. Next we have some Aunt Lydia's Karen yarn. I do have some of this in stash in red and in navy blue. It's great for rugs. All right, next, Red Heart Classic in black. Love this. I don't typically crochet with black because of how dark it is, but I do have a neck light, and when it calls for it, you have to use it. Sometimes the yarn tells you what it wants to be. So we have Natura Deluxe Acrylic. Look at that recipe. Look at that. It's so good. The colorway is Scarlet. It is a worsted weight yarn. Beautiful. I'm very excited about the ball bands. Okay, so here we have Red Heart Classic Country Red. So good. We have Karen Wintuck. I have one from earlier. We have a second one here. Karen Wintuck. Again, if you can get your hands on this, the stitches come out so, so nice. Love that yarn. We have some more Natura Deluxe Acrylic. This is in bright white. Okay. Next, we have Softgan yarn DuPont Acrylic. It's in royal blue. I didn't realize this box had this much yarn. I didn't. We have another skein of this Tahiti yarn. So we have a pair there. Next we have Art Knock Cotton Socks yarn. Very nice. Machine washable lay flat to dry, obviously for socks. Okay. Next we have some tapestry wool from Bucilla. I know I'm butchering it. I do apologize. Let me see if I can show you that. Bucilla, Bucilla. And the colorway is not on here, but this looks like claret. It is a deep, deep, deep burgundy claret. It gives claret vibes. Next we have some Barocco Borealis yarn. Ooh, this is nice. Wow, this is 3.5 ounces at 100 grams, 108 yards at 100 meters. So this is either, I would classify this as a number 5. Let me see. Yes, it's a 5 bulky. So they suggest a 7mm crochet hook or an 8mm US 11 knitting needle made in Italy. That's beautiful. I don't know what I would be able to make with just 100 yards, but who knows? The possibilities are endless. Next we have some Designer's Choice Silky Wool. Look at that. Love the colorway there. It's called Purple Orchid. It's 50 grams, 1.76 ounces, 175 meters, 192 yards. It's a DK weight number 3. And let's see, they are suggesting a 4.5 to a 5.5mm crochet hook. Or if you're knitting, it's 4mm US number 6 needles. Very soft, very squish in a DK sort of way. All right, next we have a mystery yarn. Beautiful. I'm guessing 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. It looks like a worsted weight yarn. So I'm going to go as far as to say maybe 200 yards. Very nice. Next, we have some Mirasol yarn. There are 2 hanks of this. Let me see. 2 hanks of this colorway, 2 hanks of this colorway. We have Sangria. And this one here is called Warm Gray. And 2 skeins of Quicksand. So 6 skeins all together. That's beautiful. So I'm going to hold them like this to show you all the colors while I tell you all the details. So this is a number 2 fine weight yarn. It's hand wash, lay flat to dry. It's 40 wool, 40 silk, 20 viscose. It's 50 grams, 1.76 ounces, 175 meters at 191 yards. Beautiful. So they are suggesting a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, a 3.5 to a 4.5. And then if you're knitting, a 3.75 US number 5 needles. Very nice. And if I'm knitting, this is actually more than enough to make an entire shawl, believe it or not. Yeah, with knitting, yarn goes so much further. But with crochet, I mean, you could still get a shawl out of this. I don't know how big it would be though. But I'm sure we could use a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook to just get some lace in those stitches. And it could potentially go pretty far. So, yeah. We have another mystery yarn, which I think this... Actually, wait, let me see. Yeah. This is a mystery yarn. So this looks like a 3.5 ounce, 100 gram hank of worsted weight, or it could potentially be... Nope, it's DK weight. In taupe. And it's got a sheen to it. So I'm not exactly sure what this is, but it's very soft and it feels like it's superwash merino, but I don't know because I don't have the specs here, but it's very nice. Very nice yarn. Last but not least in the bag, we have Darn Good yarn. This is Yickety Yak, Nepali yak wool. Wow. So this was this is approximately 80 yards. It's 100 grams. And let me see here. This is hand-dyed yarn. I'm trying to see if there's any other specs on this, and unfortunately, that is all they gave me to work with. So to me, this looks like a DK weight yarn. And there is a bite to it, believe it or not. It's not the softest yarn I've ever felt in my life, but it's also not the roughest. So I absolutely love that colorway there. It's gorgeous. I want to say like a raspberry or a mulberry. I don't know. I love that. So that is the yarn. So I'm going to place this on a brief pause, get all this packed up, and let's move on to the next part of our show. All right, just 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I just want to say one more thing about the yarn. Thank you so much, Lanny and Mark and Donna, for sending me the lovely, yummy yarns. I really do appreciate it. I absolutely love vintage yarns, solid, variegated, doesn't matter. I just love going into the time capsule and just talking about all the things. So thank you guys so much for the treats. So from here, we're going to move on to rescuing this blanket. So, I mean, it's beautiful. I love the stitch definition, but from afar, you can't really tell the details of this blanket. Even up close, it's really hard to see because of how busy the yarn is. So I think the best thing to do is to just breathe new life into the yarn. So to start, I'm just going to, I guess for our variety show for today, I'm probably just going to take the border off of this blanket, and then off camera, I will dismantle the rest of the blanket and give you guys an update on the next podcast on where we're at with it. If I manage to put the project on the hook, I will definitely speak to that on the next podcast. So hopefully it will come apart without fussing and fighting and all the things. So I don't know how long it's been. I mean, we never know how old a project is, you know, when you get it from the thrift store. But yes. This might not go as smoothly as planned, but that's okay. It's part of the adventure, right? I don't know. It could be a little sticky, not sticky, but it could be a little problematic because this is like the edge. So maybe I should manually frog a little bit and then wind a little bit. I'm not really sure. But I do love this color of purple. I don't think the shade of purple matches the purple that was used in the blanket, but that's okay. And based on the feel of this, as I'm frogging it, this is definitely Red Heart Super Saver in violet. But fortunately, there's only 3 rounds to this blanket's border, which is super, super nice. We may not do the whole entire border for this variety show. I was hoping for a smooth frogging session, but doesn't seem like we're going to get that, and that's okay. Maybe it'll go smoother if I do this ahead of time, which I don't mind doing that. Now, there's a lot of kinkage to this yarn, which I think will go away once I work it up, wash it, and then put it in the dryer. I think. But, I mean, that's kind of what comes with the territory when you're reusing yarn like this. When you're rescuing the project, when you're rescuing the yarn. Now, a lot of people have asked me, like, Juan, why would you do something like that to a project that's already been worked up? A lot of times, I mean, we look at projects and we're like, I could do something different with that yarn to really showcase the color and really make those stitches pop. In those instances, that's exactly what you want to do. Like, when I look at this project, I don't think fillet work is the appropriate stitch for the yarn. I think perhaps using a solid to showcase fillet work is more appropriate. I would utilize shell work with this variegated yarn. I mean, the possibilities are endless, but I don't think that this choice was the right one, which I already mentioned. So we are going to breathe new life into this yarn. And I do have the complementary colors in stash, so I don't have to make any purchases whatsoever. I can literally pull from stash and really highlight these colors. Even if I brought white into this, I can add white, I can add royal blue and hunter green. If not hunter green, definitely patty green, which I do have in stash. I don't have much patty green, but that's okay. I don't need a lot. We have a lot of this variegated yarn. I know that for sure. And once I get this first round of shell work into the cake, I think the next round should go a little smoother. We shall see. Let's see here. Yeah. We have a little bit of snagging here. And it's not because of the stitch work, it's literally because of how used the blanket is. And the great thing about rescuing yarn is sometimes you surprise yourself. You could be working a project up and not realize this whole new project, this whole new concept that you put into the work is exactly what the yarn needed. You know? And you surprise yourself. So anyway, repurposing the yarn is definitely a great way to prevent this yarn from ending up in landfills. And that's another thing too. Like, yes, it is acrylic. Yes, it's not a natural fiber. So, you know, I think the responsible thing to do would be to just find different ways to repurpose the yarn to give it a new life, you know? So I'm thankful that I found it in Goodwill. I'm thankful that it's me who picked it up. And I'm super thankful that these colors speak to me on so many levels. So I encourage you guys, if you like this kind of thing where, you know, you can rescue a blanket, breathe new life into projects and things like that, by all means. It's so much cheaper to go into Goodwill to buy one of these and frog it out than it is to actually go out and buy a bunch of new yarn, which I'm not opposed to either, but you know, sometimes it's nice to do something like this to kind of save yarn, you know? Save the yarn. Just like my shirt says, I rescue yarn. Yes, so I'm rescuing yarn today. Now, I do have to tell you, the show and tell did take a little longer than anticipated, but how much fun was that? Just going down memory lane, showing off all the yarns. I love it. It's so much fun. And come to think of it, looking back at my videos, it's been a long time since I did a long video like this. And so for those of you guys who really enjoy longer videos, well, here's your treat. You know, I feel like this. For those who don't really care for the longer videos, you would have already hopped on to the next video. But for those of you guys who just want some company for an extended period of time, sometimes these videos are nice. I know for me as a crafter, as a crocheter, it's nice every now and then to get a video where it goes beyond the normal like 40 minutes. And it's been a really long time since I've showcased one of these videos. So I decided to myself, well, you know what, Juan? Just do one, see what happens, you know? What's the worst that could happen? It's yarn, you know? So anyway, I just created a knot for myself. Lesson learned. Don't frog more than you can chew. What is even happening here? Come on, Juan. You got this. It wasn't knotted up when I frogged it, so there's no reason for it to be frogged up right now. I mean, knotted up right now. Let's see here. We can definitely do this. And I know I'm not alone when it comes to, you know, trying to get knots out of projects and things. Let's see. Did I do it? Did I do the things? Yes, I did. Now that I'm looking at this, guys, this is a lot of purple for a border. And we are on, I think I figured out a way to do this. So just hold it up and let the cake or cake. Is it going to be a pretty cake? Probably not, but that's okay. It's all about efficiency, and besides, I can recake the cake. It takes literally no time. Oh, this is great. Come on. We got this, guys. Anyway, just for this variety show, I'm only going to be doing the border. I may actually do the rest of it off camera when I have some free time. When is that? I don't know. But when I have some free time, I will take care of the rest of that. And it's back and forth, so I can literally sit here with this on my lap and just, like a typewriter, let it go back and forth, which is super nice. Yay! Look at that. We're flying. Now, what I did was, I made the purchase. I took the blanket before I even came home from Wisconsin. I put it in the washer, I put it in the dryer, washed it a second time. I think I washed the blanket a second time when I got home. I think that's what I did. Yes, so before the frogging session, this blanket has been in the washer twice. Okay. This is so much fun. I did this last year with the blanket. I still have some of that yarn left. It was a king size blanket, a king size granny. And it's so good to have extra yarn. I think I only paid $3 for this whole blanket. Yep. Okay. There it is. So scissors, please. Here we are. All right, so let me just wrap this around like this and do this. I do have to tell you, like, when I do these variety shows, I have an idea of like what I want to accomplish, but sometimes you just don't know the end result until you get there. I'll be honest with you, I thought that I'd have a whole section of time where I would be able to sit here and crochet with you guys and talk to you guys about all the things. I may actually do that just for a few moments, just so that I can say that I had it in the video. So I'm just gonna move my little table. I'm gonna move my blanket over there and look at this. Ta-da! So I did come prepared. It is here. And I do have my hook in tow. And if this is the first time that you're seeing this birthday blanket is a year old. The original plan was to have this done by July 1st. Well, that came and went. So the new goal here is to have it done by my birthday, which is July 31st. And I do have to put like a firm deadline on this because I don't want this blanket to be more than a year old. And part of the reason is because I want to make another project, like another long-term project. Now, there is a video coming out, The Road to the Finish Line Part 2. Part 1 is one where I showcase 25 of my WIPs. Now, I don't have 25 anymore. I finished a lot of them. I've gifted some of them out. I frogged some of them. So I want to do a recap on what it is that I have left. And just talk about how I'm going to be able to diminish my WIPs to as close to zero as possible. I don't think I'm going to get there because I have to have tons of things on the hook just to be able to have content for the channel, you know? So I will have some things on the hook, but I know going forward 25 is a bit much. There has to be a specific reason why I would want to have 25 WIPs just out and about like that. I don't recommend it unless you have a specific reason, like a channel. But yeah, so stay tuned for that video. I'm excited to find out for myself how many WIPs I have. I have to gather all the projects. So I have a list of the original 25. I now have to go through my work and just locate and figure out all the things. If it's been completed or gifted out, I won't showcase it. I won't talk about it. So ideally, the video won't be as long as the first one, but I have acquired some new WIPs. I do have newer projects that were not a thing when I did that first video. So yeah, I actually have come to accept the fact that like I have WIPs. I don't think I'm never gonna like not have WIPs because it's great talking points. It's great content to just talk about the concepts behind the ideas of the design and the color work and the color theory. There's just so many different bullet points that I can talk about on the channel. So for me, it's content, and I'm okay with having the WIPs. It's just that I hope that I don't end up being that person that has all the WIPs all the time and never gets through them, you know? But I am happy to report that I do have a lot of the WIPs from the first video completed. So I'm very happy to report that. I just have to slow down on these spontaneous projects. Now, projects for the channel, that's something completely different. These other projects that I showcase, I mean, yeah, I just have to watch what I do. Sometimes it's not even for any reason other than of my own personal interest, which is fine too. We all have that, but like, I have to reel it in, you know? Anyway, the blanket here features the moss stitch. So I'm gonna get up close and show you. A few of you guys asked to see up close. So it features a single crochet, chain one, single crochet. I do have a tutorial on my channel for this, and I have it in a square. Actually, it's just in the round. So it's really, really easy and fun. And then in the corner here, I do a single, I chain two, and then I go back into that corner with a single crochet. And the hook that I'm using is a Furls Odyssey hook. 6.5 millimeter US letter K. And this is the recommended hook size for the yarn that I am using because it is a thicker 4-weight yarn. So yeah, I love it. Anyway, I do have quite a bit of yarn still to go through, and I'm still at the same skein count as last time. I believe I am at 16 skeins. And this is what one skein looks like. I'm just going to go on a quick field trip and show you for those of you guys who are not familiar. This is a discontinued vintage variegated yarn. It's called Fruit Punch. You can see how worn the label is. It's 180 yards per skein. So there's not a lot of yards per se, but I do have 16 of them. So I'm trying to make a king size blanket, and I think that we are approaching full size. So will I get this done by the end of the month? I'm not sure, but I'm going to try. And if I don't get it, I'm just going to give myself grace. It'll be perfectly okay. So yeah, there's that. I'm curious to know what you guys have on your hook and how many whips are appropriate for you, or how many whips are acceptable for you. For me, I'm okay with any amount so long as I have a system in place. If I just have whipitis and I don't know what I'm doing with my work, then I need to take a step back and say, wait a minute, before I create another whip, I need to know what's going on with the ones I have. And if I don't know, let's figure that out before I create more work, because sometimes it gets overwhelming when you have all those whips and you're not sure what to do with them all. Yeah. I learned that the hard way. Yes, let's not create more unnecessary work. Create the work because you want it, and that's fine. You know, if you want to have 55 whips or more, great. As long as you know what's going on with them, you know? I think that was the takeaway that I learned from all that, from the first video, you know? So, anyway. This WIPn It with Juan session won't be long at all. It's just, you know, for speaking in the beginning of the video where I said that, you know, we were going to have it, I can't say that we're going to have it and then not have it, you know. But yes, I do love this stitch. I spoke about this many, many times. This is one of the stitches that my aunt absolutely loved to do when she was alive and she was teaching me how to crochet. So yeah, I even named a project after this very stitch. In the other room, it's called the Annie M blanket. So every row I'm changing colors. And yeah, it's really, really nice. That's another project that's overdue. So stay tuned for details about that project. Hopefully I can manage to get it done. I only have but so many rows to go before it's done. I can literally put everything else down, focus on that for 1 day or two, and it be done. And that project is also, actually it's over a year old. I believe it's 13 months. Yeah, 13 months old. Anyway, I'm going to go to the corner and then we are going to wrap up the video. I know this one's a little on the longer side, but then again, I'm doing it for those of you guys who continuously ask, hey Juan, every now and then, can you give us a longer video? And so this video is for all of you guys. And I mentioned this earlier, if you're not into the longer videos, well, you already left. You're not even here anymore. Or maybe you're back for the replay, and I love that for you. So I know me, when I'm working on my knit projects or my big projects like this, I just put you guys or the video on for background noise. And it really helps me just get on with my project. It's really nice to have a crochet buddy. So yeah, whether you were just listening to me talk about the yarn earlier or you have me on right now as a crochet buddy, sometimes it's really nice to just have someone there talking about all the things, keeping you company. So yeah, if I'm that for you, then great. I love that. And I was also asked, Juan, are you really going to use all of those skeins of yarn? So the answer to that is yes, I'm going to use as many as I need to get the measurement of a king size blanket. Something tells me it's going to take all of that yarn. Now, I am using Loops and Thread Soft Classic, this gray colorway right here, charcoal, as a way to break up the monotony of the busyness of the yarn. But as it stands right now, I am going to need another thick band, I think, because I have a thick band right here. Maybe I don't need to do another thick band back to back. I'm not sure. I'm going to do several additional rounds before making that decision. And so right now it's too early to call. I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing with it next, but stay tuned. I just know that I have to get through these skeins. So whatever happens to that. I have decided that the border of my blanket will be in the gray. I will frame it in the charcoal colorway, just to, you know, give it some panache. Oh, that was so the wrong word. Such the wrong word. But that's okay. To frame it, make it look nice. I may even do like a solid single crochet in the back loop all the way around. Or I may even do the crab stitch, because I don't want a big foofy border. I want something very clean, neat, and not over the top. So maybe the crab stitch is the appropriate border for this. I don't know. I'm going to look at some other blankets that I have upstairs and see what I've used before, see what it looks like, and then just go from there. So anyway, I am at the corner. Let me just get around there really quick. 1, 2, and go back into that corner with a single crochet. Let me get my stitch marker on here. My progress keeper stitch marker situation. There we go. Okay. So we did like a whole side and a half. Oh, all right. So that wraps up this video. I really hope that you enjoyed this variety show. Now, the variety shows are not all the same. Everyone is a little different from the last one. And so if this is something that you like to see, then feel free to sound off in the comments and let me know all the things. All right, so that is all from me for now. And until the next one, take care. Bye.